We have two updates coming for you for former and potentially former San Francisco 49ers, Elijah Mitchell and Talanoa Hufanga. But let's first start with Elijah Mitchell. Mitchell will sign and has signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. That makes two. Two former 49ers, now Chiefs. Obviously, we've already discussed how Jalen Moore will now be their starting left tackle of the future as he signed a 2-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. And on top of that, you now have Elijah Mitchell, who will be joining uh, Jalen Moore with I guess you could say, a rival. I don't know. We'll see how you would quantify the Chiefs. Maybe a more appropriate is a thorn in the 49ers side. But with Elijah Mitchell, he is a good running back. His issue is health and availability. He didn't even play last year. He was on injured reserve or placed on injured reserve in training camp, which ended his entire year. He had no opportunity to return. So that has been his biggest issue. But, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I forget the exact record he broke, but I think it was first rookie running back in the 49ers organization to rush for over 1,000 yards. And he was a former 6th-round draft pick. So he, to me, is a good player. But when you only play in 27 of 68 games, we already understand what it is. The best ability in the NFL is availability, and he has just been constantly hurt. That's been his biggest issue. So wouldn't surprise me if he somehow gets to the Chiefs and somehow remains to stay healthy and, becomes a underrated signing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So something to keep an eye out. But I think the news that most fans are interested in is regarding Talanoa Hufanga. Now, it hasn't officially been reported, but according to Jeremy Fowler via Nick Wagner, it does sound like the Denver Broncos are closing in on a deal to sign Talanoa Hufanga. Now, if you listened to any of my lives from Radio Row at the Super Bowl, I told you to keep an eye out for the Denver Broncos and Talanoa Hufanga. I spoke to someone that I really trusted who has very strong ties to the Denver Broncos, and he basically said they're coming for him. They're going to go after and try to get Talanoa, and that's turned out to be true. So it's not official yet. He hasn't officially signed, but I would say it's brace for it. Like if I heard this a month ago that the Denver Broncos were coming after Talanoa Hufanga, and you now have NFL insiders saying that the Denver Broncos are closing in on a deal for Talanoa Hufanga, probably makes sense to just brace for his eventual departure. So I kind of have rationalized for a while now that Talanoa Hufanga will be leaving in free agency. So it is unfortunate, but if he's going to go anywhere, I'm glad it's to the AFC, not in division or anything like that. And I think he will thrive in Denver. I think it will be a great spot for him. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Talanoa Hufanga. I like the player. I like the person. I think he's been phenomenal for the 49ers. He will absolutely be missed for sure, at least from me. Some fans are indifferent. Some other fans don't mind if he leaves. But it does mean that the 49ers have to find someone to start at safety because you have Malik Mustafa. He's going to be your starting safety. You have Jair Brown and George Odom, but George Odom was hurt last year. He's pretty much just a special teams guy. Jair Brown struggled as a starter, which is why he got jumped by Malik Mustafa. So the 49ers most likely have to turn to either free agency or the draft or both to be able to try to replace Talanoa Hufanga. So it's going to be interesting to see what move they ultimately make. But as it stands right now, we have no signings for the 49ers, no movement yet, and we are just waiting to see if anything will pop. I didn't expect the San Francisco 49ers to be big time players early on in free agency, signing a big name or anything like that. I just think with their recent history, with like the Javon Hargrave signing and some of the other moves, and you can clearly see that they are trying to uh, just really reduce their salaries. They lead the league in dead cap right now. So it's not the greatest. It doesn't make for, I would say, the 49ers to just have insane, massive spending right now. So we'll have to see how it ultimately comes together. But so far, no signings for the 49ers. If Talanoa signs with the Denver Broncos, that would be 3. Again, I'm anticipating Dre Greenlaw leaves. Hopefully, the 49ers somehow make some last ditch effort to bring him back. But if that's not the case, that could be 4. But it is important to note that every player that does sign in free agency, they will trigger the comp pick formula. So the 49ers will be getting draft picks for these players leaving. And that is, I think, at least the one positive that you can come away with it. Like Jalen Moore might net the 49ers a third round draft pick. That's pretty solid. Elijah Mitchell, maybe like a 7th round comp pick. Talanoa, probably a 3rd, 4th round comp pick. Dre Greenlaw, probably 3rd, 4th round comp pick. So they're going to be stacking some picks in those middle rounds with these players leaving. So again, I know it can be bittersweet, and I know it. Some fans are going to feel a certain type of way about some of these moves, but I think as it stands currently right now, the 49ers probably seem more like day 2 legal tampering type team, where they're going to look for more cost effective free agents, potential starters, but not your top of market guys who are available on the open market. But as it stands right now, all I'm seeing with the 49ers are more holes being opened up on the roster where there's a lot of holes. So uh moves will have to be made. We just don't know exactly yet what those moves are. So I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about the Talanoa Hufanga situation? How do you feel about the Chiefs picking up 2 of the 49ers players? What do you feel like about the whole situation? Please let me know in the comments below, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.